Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. Really cool. Just went over the upgrades and everything for Hoot Loop. Looks to be a very unique and promising character, at least in my initial opinions here. Now the cool thing here with Hoot Loop is if you're a big fan of him or if you agree with me, maybe you don't have him yet, you're just watching this kind of get a feel for the character, and you're thinking, man, I want to take, Dreamweaver and Hypno out. I want to take both of the bottom end pass. You can, because you can go out and you can get Enchanted Hoot Loop. Enchanted Hoot Loop available only at Walmart. You're obviously going to get to see the character here and everything. But main thing is it gives you the option to explore both paths. Essentially a duplicate character, but it's standalone, so it makes it nice. It's kind of like the dark characters, the legendary characters, nitros, the jades, everything like that. So we're gonna go ahead. I'll back out of here. I want you to get a good look at Hoot Loop. I can't remember if I showed how he jumps. It's pretty much just straight up, but a little bit dark here. My apologies. Kind of pay attention. You saw him on the pause screen, and now you kind of see that character art. We're gonna pull Hoot Loop. I'm going to grab Enchanted. I have been waiting. He has never actually been on the portal. If he has, it was just because I documented stats. We'll be box stock regardless.
Let's ruffle some feathers.
Awesome. He looks really good in that kind of blue color. Okay, so he literally had never been on the portal because we got a new accolade there. Abracadabra. That said, he shows up differently in the game. He registers as Enchanted Hoot Loop Special. The purple's really fitting for Magic. However, the figure itself, it's like a dark navy blue. Not legendary dark, but like slightly lighter than that, not by much. In the game, though, he's a bit lighter than that. Here's what he looks like jumping. Nothing again too crazy there. It's kind of cool though that portal actually comes with him, the teleporter. Primary attack right here, you're gonna see it chain. If the sheep would get out of the way. Good grief, sheep. There we go. 24, 6. It'll actually, they claim, hit 3. I guess it would need to be closer vicinity type thing. Let's try it. The sheep are kind of going to screw it up there. Anyway, you get the idea. It's basically 24 and then it chains off to 6. Probably lowers a little bit on the third hit. Now, secondary attack, which he has block stock, teleport. When he lands close to an enemy, going to spin around, does 26 damage. So that's pretty cool. Plus, it's teleportation, which makes it awesome. Gonna come in now. We're actually going to go to collection. Over here, Spyro's head. We now have 4 magic. You can see there we got the new icon not only on magic but also on all Skylanders. So I'm going to take a look at magic. Right there, interesting they have them separated by Spyros. But here's Enchanted Hoot Loop Special. Again, that's how he appears. Let's ruffle some feathers. Note to the hardcore collectors. Enchanted Hoot Loop, out day 1 of course. He has the correct slogan printed on his packaging, which is Let's Ruffle Some Feathers. Hoot Loop, Standard Edition Hoot Loop, non-exclusive to Walmart and purple, available everywhere. He initially, I'm sure they'll correct it at some point, but I've continued to check. He has Free Ranger slogan, which is Whip Up a Storm. So if you're hardcore about that, or you get off on factory errors or something, might want to go ahead and grab one of each just for your collection. And that way, I suppose, by having those 2 sealed, what's sad for people that keep them sealed, you can't really do, you couldn't make Fire Jet or, Boom Kraken or Boom Shift because you can't separate them. But at least that way with Enchanted and regular Hoot Loop, you can take both paths, if it means anything to you. That said, I'll quit rambling. We're going to read his biography here. Hoot Loop, Let's Ruffle Some Feathers, magic element, of course. Bear in mind this picture here, not Enchanted, it's standard Hoot Loop, but still pretty cool artwork there. He is teleportation as well, if you didn't know. Hoot Loop was raised by a guild of magicians in Skyland's most famous traveling circus. At a young age, he perfected illusions and spells that only the very best of their guild could perform, and even mastered the art of teleportation. Soon enough, he became the star of the show, known far and wide as the Amazing Hoot Loop. However, one day an army of Greebles disguised as clowns invaded, determined to destroy the popular circus. It was then that Hoot Loop gave a performance that few would ever forget. Using his incredible powers, he fought off the invaders and saved the circus, to the raucous applause of the many spectators, including none other than our main man, Master Eon, who presented Hoot Loop with an opportunity to learn some real magic as a member of the Skylanders. Covered this obviously when we introduced Hoot Loop, but want to do a little bit of the same here. Cool aspects here, number one. We get a little insight into Eon's personal life. Don't really see much of that. He was hitting the road, checking out a circus with a magic show. You could literally see the guy doing that. He's a wizard and portal master. Number two, and this is kind of a big deal in the past, it's usually been like trolls, Cyclops, more trolls, Chaos, the Darkness, more trolls. This time in Hoot Loop's story, it's actually the Greebles, which are introduced to us here in Swap Force. Obviously Chaos is evilizing them. That's like the crux, the core enemy here, the ultimate bad guy in this background story. So pretty cool changes there. We got Master Eon's social life going on, and new enemies doing new things. So let's go ahead, back out of here, and we're going to come up here to Skylander. Take a look at his stats. As you can see, he's never been on the portal. His first 5 minutes have been me rambling here. Max health 250, just like Hoot Loop. Speed 43, armor 12, critical hit 6, elemental power 7, 42. It's 25 box stock plus 10 today, so it is really 32-ish, if you will. Basically only giving us credit for Hoot Loop and Spyro at this point in time, despite having Enchanted Hoot Loop and Dark Spyro registered. Now, stats, if you're thinking, hey, that seems similar, it's because it's exactly the same. It's one of those things I would love to have seen Enchanted have like 6 more armor, or 7 more on speed, anything really. I mean, better than stock, but it is what it is. What I can tell you though, right there, that artwork that you're looking at as he prances around, that's a good look at him, much better than I can show you here in the dark night at Woodboro, I suppose. Pretty cool character, and again, he'll change. If you did not know, you can take your Hoot Loop outside in direct sunlight, and it'll actually kind of do a little color shift. This is the actual figure, mind you, so keep that in mind. That said, we're going to take a look at his upgrades. Everything we talk about is going to be top end here. So what he has right now that I've shown you does 24, chains off to 6 is Deja Boom. Press Y to shoot a magic projectile that hits enemies 3 times before it disappears, just like that yawn. First purchased upgrade, Hypnotism. This is really cool. Hold X to hypnotize enemies, slowing their movement and tactics. Again, only thing I can really compare this to is like Ectoplasm from Ghost Roaster. Second purchased upgrade, Tricked Ya. Big deal here, you're getting armor. It's not tied in with a path. Doesn't get much, it's not even a soul gem, it's just here, and that's great. Armor increase, shiny new armor reduces damage. We'll have to see how this looks on he and Hoot Loop. Final purchased upgrade before picking a path is called Flashback. Pay attention here, it'll come up when we check out the quest here shortly. Press Y to shoot a Deja Boom projectile. Deja Boom bounces 3 times. On a third bounce, it explodes. So, very cool there. Obviously going to make it easier to complete that quest. Now, top end to Hoot Loop, Hoot, top half, arms, head, whatever you need to call it. He's got 2 paths. This top one is called Dreamweaver. It basically addresses his primary attack, Deja Boom. Hold Y to channel a magical beam that damages enemies. Again, very double trouble-ish. Second and final one down Dreamweaver is called Dream Beam. Does increased damage. Again, I've had that song stuck in my head since we introduced Hoot Loop, if anyone is keeping score at home. If you're not into that, or you think, man, his primary attack's already the beast, I don't need to do anything to it, you're going to want to take Hypno Owl. Hypno Owl path begins with mass hypnosis. Hypnotism becomes more effective, slowing enemies in a larger area. That is followed up with Deep Asleep. Hold X to use a more powerful mass hypnosis, dealing increased damage. But that's not all. The top and the bottom for the SWAT Force characters each have a soul gem. His can be found in Woodburrow. It pops up, I think, on that tree ledge that, like, the little gem's 50 now. Wand of Dreams is what the top half soul gem's called. Press Y to shoot a Deja Boom and 2 smaller Deja Boom projectiles at once. My apologies. It is, again, for anyone scoring at home, it's 5:16 a.m., so it's understandable I would be yawning. I am pretty set on getting Night Shift and Legendary Night Shift done tonight, though, so I'll probably go to bed around 6 or something. Gonna come out now. That was all the top end. We're now going to the bottom, the legs, the lower half, loop, the half with the base, the half with the icon, whatever you need to call it. This is the bottom end of Hoot Loop. So, speaking of that, what he has right now, box stock, is Loop the Loop. Press A to teleport forward a short distance and damage nearby enemies. I think that was doing 26-ish. First purchased upgrade. This is pretty sweet. Portable Hole. Hold A to aim the portal. Release to teleport to that area and damage all nearby enemies. So now, instead of just kind of going like, hey, I'm going to go left or right or whatever, kind of like sunburn, immolation, teleportation type thing, you can actually, I guess, like pinpoint it 360 degrees, maybe even farther out. We'll have to buy it and see. Second purchased upgrade down here on the bottom end is Temporal Whack. Teleport does increase damage. That's a fitting name. Final purchased upgrade before picking a path for the bottom end is called Time Sink. Enemies and objects are pulled towards the area where Portable Hole is aimed. Again, basically what that does, you point the hole, the enemies are drawn in. When you pop over, you do increased damage to them. Now you get to a point where you have to pick a path for the bottom end. This top one is called Telekinesis Path. Begins with Now You See Me. Hold A to charge Portable Hole. Release to do increased damage. Damage is increased the longer it is charged. So again, you'll have to set that one up, but it sounds interesting. Probably going to take a little time to master, then you're home free. Second upgrade there is going to be Complete Concentration. Now You See Me does increased damage. Very impressive entrance, I would have to agree. If that's not your thing, or you think it's already powerful enough, or you're thinking, man, that soul gem's really going to make that thing good, might consider going with the Escape Artist path. It begins with Now You Don't. Press B after teleporting to appear back at the previous position. What's going to happen here, you point the teleporter with the A button, you've held it down, you're going to go and teleport. The enemies are drawn in. As soon as you teleport, you deal damage. You press B, you immediately shift back to the original location, and then you can start using the Y button, your primary attack, to decimate the enemies that have been drawn into where you were supposed to be when you teleported. Very, very slick. Second upgrade there is going to be Teleport Turbulence. All teleport attacks do increased damage. Again, that's kind of a no-brainer. Once again, you'll have to pick your poison there in terms of if you want to go Telekinesis or Escape Artist. One thing you don't need to debate is the Soul Gem for the bottom half. It is called Infinite Loop. Hold A to aim the portal loop. Release it under Hoot Loop's body to cause a massive attack that damages enemies in a large area. That sounds very simple, very promising, very easy, so those are all 3 good things. Gonna back out of here. We're gonna take a look at his quest. First 6 pretty simple. Defeat 1,000 enemies. Eat 15 pieces of fruit. Don't lose health in a non-story mode level. Win 10 PvP. I like totally maxed out. If you're not a fan of Hoot Loop or Enchanted Hoot Loop EHL, this encourages you to take telekinesis or escape artist and hypno owl or dreamweaver, and then kind of see how you feel about him. Deal 7,500 elemental damage. Now the important ones are these back three in my opinion. They begin with puzzle power. Push a laser puzzle beam to defeat an enemy. That shouldn't be too hard. You just probably have to locate a laser puzzle beam and then, of course, remember to use a magic character. Now, Mage Rivalry. Defeat a total of 25 ranged Cyclops. You just have to locate them. Remember to use Enchanted Hoot Loop. Now, Enchanted Hoot Loop's personal quest. Wand you like to play a game. Defeat 50 enemies with the final explosion of a flashback attack. Again, told you to pay close attention to that earlier. Basically, it's that third one. It's going to explode. All you really need is like groups of 3+ enemies, and you probably make quick work of that. That said, we will back out. Here's one final look at him. His soul gem again is up on the tree back where, towards Flynn's ship. But that is that. That was Hoot Loop and Enchanted Hoot Loop. Cool thing again there, I am interested in all of his paths, both tops, both bottoms. Having Enchanted Hoot Loop, I can actually take whatever we don't take with Hoot Loop. So works out really well. He registers as a special character. He's got a different in-game look. Stats, sadly the same, but, main thing, we get to go ahead and take those different paths. So that's the main draw. It is 5:22. I am pretty tired, but I'm going to go ahead and try to do Night Shift and Legendary Night Shift. After that, I'm going to have to go to bed. That said, looking very promising. This teleportation thing I am a pretty big fan of. I think it's a unique element brought into the game. Whereas like some of the moves, speed's useful, the rocket's useful, climbing it's like only really helpful in like the swap zone, at least at this point in time when I've done the playthrough. Spring, not super great. Thing is though, like teleport, that's awesome all the time. It doesn't just have to be like a swap zone or anything. So that's kind of why I'm probably excited about Hoot Loop and Night Shift. That said, Night Shift, long awaited Night Shift coming up. Literally Night Shift. We're working on the Night Shift. Jeez, now I've got night moves from Bob C. Man, I don't know, you're tired, but you're like still stimulated and you start thinking about things way too much. Anyway, I'm going to quit rambling. I'm sure on that end of things. Like I said, we're going to come back. We'll do Night Shift first, then Legendary Night Shift, so stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. That'll keep you up with all this latest crazy stuff. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Again, thanks for watching, and we will catch you back here literally for the Night Shift.